All right, Sophia, this is a sample code that is created just for you. Um, Only this time, what I've done is I've used dogs. So bear with me. Feel free to ask me questions, but uh, let's get started. So, first off, let me explain what my goal of this program was. I started off with a dog list, and then I started off with an average playtime per week. So, suppose you wanted to, get a dog and you are really concerned because you're like, well, I really need a chill dog. So, what I've done is I've listed out all the potential dogs. My app has no design elements. This is purely just code. It'd be cool to like have pictures of all of them, but I'll let you think about that. Um, and then average playtime per week. Now, it's going to be really important that when you are listing your like initial values and then any supporting values to your initial values, notice we're working with indexes here. And so Yorkie is going to correspond with 2. If I wanted to also do another thing, because I could compare another attribute of dogs, maybe like size, I would just want to make sure that if I was to add another list here, and I grabbed numbers, but maybe I was thinking like dog size list, and I would just want to make sure that, Yorkies are what? I don't know, 12 feet tall. Chow Chows are going to be like 40 inches tall, and then German Shepherds are maybe like 60 inches tall. And so notice, my point is you just want to make sure that your indexes or the values at the indexes are all corresponding. So whatever's in the 0th index all relates, whatever's in the first index is all relating to one another, and then whatever's in the second index and so forth. Remember, you could use these arrows to expand or take your list down. So those are going to be my original values. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, in my example, I wanted to find the chill dogs. And so I'm going to take these lists and I'm actually going to filter through them. And so this chill dogs list is going to be like my result. So this next list is like my goal list, right? If I wanted to do dog size, then maybe I would add another list. Once you have done this, we're going to add 2 variables that are just going to correspond with grabbing like individual elements. So the first one I've got dog name, and then the second one I've got average playtime. So you'll see where these are going to happen in just a second. Now this is the new part. And so this is what we're not going to have time to really go through in class, but please, please, please ask me if you've got questions. This is true programming right here. So this is what we call a for loop. Notice it's for, F-O-R, and then this piece right here is a loop. So in a for loop, this is a loop that will repeat the code inside for as many times as you tell it to. So notice this outer part is like your for loop. It's going to repeat all of the code on the inside for as long as we tell it to. You'll notice when we're looking at like the conditions of our for loop, I'm going to turn it in right here. There's always 3 conditions to a for loop. The first one is really simple. You say var I equals 0. We're typically going to start at 0. This next one is saying that as long as I is less than the value that is dog list.length, which remember the length of our dog list is 1, 2, 3. So really, this is just saying as long as I is less than 3, I plus plus. What I plus plus means is it's just shorthand for I plus 1. So we're going to start our value of I at 0, and as long as I is less than 3, we're going to increase the value of I by 1 every time after we run this loop. So it might actually, I wonder if I could put I as a watcher down here. I can. But let's see, I've got to reset it. So I is going to, that was super fast. Let me turn this down. So right now I is undefined because it really doesn't get defined until this loop. Every time the loop runs through, I gets increased by 1. After I is hit 3, it's done. So what's inside of this loop? Well, this is what we call our filter like sequence. And so this first one is saying that we want our variable of dog name to store whatever's at dog list. Remember, it's going to start off at 0. That's when I is equal to 0. After the loop runs through, I will now equal 1, and then I will equal 2, and ultimately I will equal 3. So I guess really if we're doing not 3, but if we're doing dog list dot length, if the length of our list, not dog, if the length of our list is 3, we really only need this loop to go through twice, because we're grabbing the 0th index, the first index, and then the second index. So you'd be successful with with this notation. Remember, I'm going to keep this as I plus plus, but it's the exact same thing as I equals I plus 1. So we say that I is a local variable because I is only at play when it's in here in the loop. So you are continuously going through, you're grabbing the first element, you're grabbing the first, what is this called? Yeah, the first element, 0th index. And all we're saying is that if average playtime is less than 15, that's going to be how I quantify it's a chill dog. I'm going to append the item, meaning I'm going to add the dog name to chill dogs. And so really, we're checking these values. Well, I guess we're checking these values, but we're ultimately adding these values. It goes through the whole list because of what I told it to do right here. Ultimately, I wanted to do this console.log just to show you that my original list was Yorkie, Chow Chow, and German Shepherd. And then my chill dog list became just Yorkie and Chow Chow. Because apparently those are chill dogs. Not quite, but I just wanted to give you this as an example. Last but not least, these were really squished together, so I had to remember how to do this, which I didn't remember how to do this, but I went to here, list.join separator. If you come over here to view examples, then you could kind of see some sample code. This is like my number one best friend. This is called a reference sheet. Every computer programming environment will supply you with one. If not, it's probably because you're in college studying computer science and it's to be memorized. This is what it looks like in block mode. If you wanted to use a for loop, which you will want to for your thing, they make it super easy. Just start off. You don't even have to change this first one. You would change however many elements are in your list. Feel free to, give us the true notation. And then I++ just says that we're going to continue to increase by 1 and go through each element in the list. Again, reach out for help, but I think that you'll be on a good start here.